it tends to happen. There's that pressure to, like to assimilate into a new culture, but at the same time hold your roots to the old culture as well. It's kind of a weird juxtaposition where you want to fit in and be a part of the new culture while also retaining majority of your mother culture, you know? And so never like bring. Oh my! I got teased for this mercilessly when I was growing up. Like have you guys heard of the food jouk? I think the southerners call it jouk. No, rook. But the northerners call it jouk with a Z. But jouk is essentially a Vietnamese food where it's like dried pork that's shredded so thin it looks like hair almost. It looks like hair, but it's like a. I think in American it's called in English it's called like a pork floss. Yeah, like pork floss. It's like cotton candy with pork. The joke is one of my favorites. One of my favorites. But I brought it to school once, and then people started bullying me because they told me I was eating hamsters. Because it's like there's the whole joke about like what Asian people eat, and like, oh my gosh, Aya eats hamsters. Holy shit, like that sort of thing. And I got teased mercilessly for that. And like there'd be days where I bring like fucking bitter melon, or I bring in like gacha, or I bring in like I don't know whatever leftovers mom made for me the previous night. And it got to the point where I asked my mom, can you stop making me Vietnamese food? Can we get Western food instead? Can you make sandwiches or something? And like I remember my mom was hurt. My mom was really hurt because my mom put effort into our food. Like whenever she made dinner beforehand, she would make extras for me and my brother to take. I'm having a stroke. To take to school with us. And like at one point I literally got my like I came home crying, and I was like, Mom, don't make us bring that food anymore. It's gross looking. If you don't, I don't like the way it looks, that sort of thing. And Mom was hurt. She was genuinely hurt. And like she didn't really show it at the time, but like looking back on it, I'm really ashamed that I said that. I could tell in her voice. Her expression didn't change a whole lot. She was pretty like my mom's a pretty stone-faced lady, like she's a big business lady, big business mom. And so she's like, like no change in her face, just okay. But like she was hurt, and like for years she refused, like she just respected our request and never made us Vietnamese food again. And at one point, years and years later, my school was having like a cultural food fair, right? And so like you bring in food from other cultures. It doesn't have to be your own culture, it can be another person's culture. You can cook the food and bring it to the school to like to partake in the festival, right? And there's like a contest and stuff. It's a lot of fun. And so I asked my mom. My mom makes a killer fried rice, of course. She makes a killer fried rice. Of course she does. She's an Asian mom. I came home from school. I'm like, hey mom. At this point, I've been eating like Lunchables and sandwiches for like 2 or 3 years at this point. I come home from school. I'm like, hey mom. So tomorrow is like the cultural food festival. Can you make some of your fried rice so you can bring it to class with me? I want to show it off and like have people try it. And my mom looks at me with the most serious expression, and she's like, are you sure? I thought you did like, are you sure your classmates will be okay with that? Do you think like I don't want you to get teased for it or anything, right? And I was like, holy shit, she still remembers of like when I told her to stop making me Vietnamese food, And so like it's that weird dichotomy of like wanting to partake in your culture while also being like criticized for it. And then within your own community, you get criticized for not being close enough to your mother culture, being too westernized, right? Like, I get read to filth all the time by other Vietnamese people in my community for not understanding the language better, Like my parents were nice enough; they didn't enroll me in like language schools or anything. They were nice enough not to do that to me. Funny enough, I speak more Vietnamese than some of my friends who did go to those schools. But like, it's that kind of situation, Like I kind of regret it, to be honest. I'm really upset that I told my mom that. But it's in the past now. But I wonder how mom feels about it, Hopefully she doesn't take it too personal. But really a good conversation for her sometime in the future.